The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au. Welcome to the KRGS Doors Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Blackman. The aim of our podcast is to talk to cool people with cool stories, whether it be our suppliers, customers, staff, other business owners, or people from different walks of life, and get to know them a bit better. If you're interested in coming on, drop us a line or email, or connect with us via Facebook, and we can have a chat to see what we can do. On today's episode, I'm joined by KRGS Doors Managing Director Clayton Blackman, and we chat to Mr. Darren Shelley, Co-Director of Berts Soft Drinks based in southern Sydney. Starting in 1968, Berts Soft Drinks has been family-owned for the entire 52 years. Now being managed by the fifth generation of the Shelley family, and is one of a few independent soft drink manufacturers remaining in Sydney. Please welcome to the podcast, Mr. Darren Shelley. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, Darren. What's the Darren Shelley story?
Thanks, Drew and Clayton, for having me this afternoon. I hope give some little bit of informative information during the afternoon. But the Darren Shelley story is I was born in Arncliffe, 1967, where I lived obviously with the parents for a couple of years, and then we moved over towards Sutherland Shire and made our home at Tarrant Point and lived there till I got married, which was at 26, and married my wife Melissa. We've now got two kids. We've got a 23-year-old son and a 21-year-old daughter. They're both working, and
the boy's 23. The boy's 23, going on 12.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. That's exactly right. He's got a 35-year-old punching brain and a bank account of a 2-year-old. So that's all right. They've got plenty of time in their life to find out what they want to do and where they want to head.
Exactly.
Mate, so you're a co-director of Berts Soft Drinks, and it's a fifth generation that you're there. How did you start in the soft drink industry? Was it just being part of the family?
Yeah, so the Berts Soft Drinks story is that it's owned between my father and my uncle, his brother. They come down originally from, they used to work at Shelley's, and then they sold out of Shelley's and they come to Tarrant Point and started up Berts Soft Drinks. My grandfather's name was Albert. So all the hard work was done by them in the early years, but then in school holidays, like everyone, you come down and see some machinery and things happening, and it was a bit fascinating. So myself and my cousins, we always come down at school holidays and lend a hand around filling up orange juices or lunch orders or making loads or cleaning trucks or whatever needed to be done, and probably just got a taste of it then and continued on later on. Were invited to come down and work here. It wasn't a sell by our parents to come here. We opted, and through the years, all my cousins, guys and girls on the other side of the family, and my sisters have all worked at the business at different times, but they've left and taken their own avenues. And currently me and my cousin Matthew, he's a year older than me, we're the co-managers, directors here on behalf of the family.
So, Daz, did you go straight from school, mate? Did you go there straight away, like as full-time?
Yeah, it was, in year 10, actually, we had two work experiences. One was I'd done a motor mechanic at a Nissan Sutherland for a week, and my other work experience was actually here at the factory, probably because I knew that I was going to be coming here after school left, so it was only a couple of months before that. So, yeah, jumped out of school, had a couple of weeks break, and then started just after Christmas and been here ever since.
What year was that, Daz?
83, I think.
83.
That's the America's Cup year.
So do you think you'll like it?
Mate, people reckon I only work here so I can get free soft drink. It's certainly an interesting industry. You know, there's some science behind it. Not that I've gone and done any uni degrees or anything. That if I left here, I'd take a wealth of knowledge and a forklift license. It's the 11 secret herbs and spices, isn't it? That's it. But in saying that, it's given us good grounding, working with machinery and solving problems, making new drinks. Just like any business, you've got to make sure that you've got stock on hand and everything's running right. So yeah, it's been a good learning.
You are very well known in the area though too, Daz. The brand and the name is very well known.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I'll just finish off another thing. Another good thing is that some people might like it or some people might like it, but I've had the fortunate luck of being able to work with my dad.
Yeah.
All those years and seeing Dad, and we've got not that I haven't got a good relationship with Mum, but I'm just saying I think it's been good for me and my father to have all those years. We'd come in and we'd talk about the footy or sport or
Correct.
whatever, and it's not as though you think I've got to go down and see him or whatever. I've been in contact with him every day, so it's that's one positive. I think it's been really good.
Absolutely, Drew and I are the same, and for me, all my working life. So what am I? I'm 49 this year. All of my working life, so 31 years, I've been able to work alongside my father and my parents and so forth. So it's been, I know exactly what you mean.
And you're spot on, Daz, that you don't come in and talk work all the time. And not so much now, but when footy season is running, we come in on a Monday morning and talk about how bad St George were, usually 9 times out of 10. But it's the chat of sport and things like that even before the day starts.
Then one thing that me and my dad have always done is we've never taken work home. We always make sure that we finished our day here, and if we come around to Mum and Dad's for dinner or things like that, we might roll over a little bit, but we don't get stuck down and we just go and talk normal life-to-life talk, And during the week we talk work, and on the weekends we talk whatever we want.
Yeah, good.
So tell us about the Berts Soft Drink story, mate. What's your role? Obviously, it's a soft drink company, but is there anything else that they do there? And when did it start? What's the number of employees? Things like that.
My grandfather and my uncle and my dad come over to Tarrant Point in 1966 and bought the land. Took them a couple of years to get all the machinery and the factories built and that. So the first bottles was produced around 1968. I think it was October 1968. I think lemonade was the first flavour they got rolling off the production line. Back then it was in the old wooden crates, the old wooden crates with the returnable bottles, very similar to Swing or Crystal or whatever. So the people would come in, take the drinks home, bring the 12 bottles back, swap them over. They'd go through a bottle washer, have the labels taken off, cleaned with caustic, filled up with another flavour, and off they went again. And that was probably a very common business back then of returnable bottles. Nearly everything was returnable and washing. Since then, obviously, with OH&S and insurance and all things like that, bottles are more now one-way bottles, non-returnable bottles. So just like we go to the fridge, have the drink and then throw it in the rubbish bin or your recycling bin or whatever. In the early days, we used to have about 8 trucks here. To get into the route market was a lot easier than what it is now. We used to have a lot of takeaways. Service stations were a completely different subject back then. A lot of them were independent service stations. Yeah. So you could basically go in and negotiate, and the owner of that service station say, I'll sell Berts Soft Drinks and Arnott's biscuits or whatever, chips or oils or whatever. But then the service stations all come under all under the one banner, and then they started bulk buying off all the big players. So that sort of pushed us out of there. The route market started to become very difficult then, probably about 15, 20 years ago. And that's when our business sort of took a bit of a change to co-packing. So other people coming in and asking us to co-pack their products, which was good in one sense, that you didn't have to deal with many customers out on the road, and you didn't have trucks that were going out and
you were still getting the sale.
Yeah, but we were still getting a sale. That diminished the Berts product a little bit, but it certainly it gave a lot more people that didn't have the ability to have a soft drink line that still wanted to get into the market an opportunity to do that. So we're not in supermarkets. We've never dealt with supermarkets. It's too cutthroat for us. We'll let all the big boys handle that, and we sort of handle the second or third tier people underneath that want to have some drinks for their own restaurants or cafes or distributors up and down the coast, or some of the little country towns that we still bottle for out of Moree or Burke and things like that still want to have their homegrown.
So back in 1968, when your dad and uncle and so forth kicked it off, how many soft drink manufacturers would have there been around, for example, in Sydney back then?
I think there was about 30 back in Sydney.
Wow.
This is a great thing about soft drinks. Soft drinks, if you go back through all the history and the tradition of soft drinks, all the little country towns had their own little soft drink company in that little area. It didn't matter if it was Goulburn or if it was Dubbo or Taree or Craft. They all had their, but then unfortunately the supermarkets slowly pushed them out of the way. We're probably the only little independent soft drink factory in Sydney left now. There is one down at Wollongong, another one up at Taree that do similar businesses to us. Yeah, the big boys have just come in and swallowed a lot of them up. When we first started, we would have had 20 people working here, up to 30 people sometimes. Now we currently have a staff of 15. As I said, it's a different business avenue that we've gone down now. We mainly contract pack, but would be 90% of our business would be contract packing for other people. 10% is the Berts name. There's a lot of tradition in the Berts name, so that's why we continue to bottle it. And we have just distributors up and down the coast that get into all the little caravan parks and sporting clubs and things like that. So it's an interesting industry to be
in. Well, just on that, what's the biggest challenges in the soft drink industry?
We got into water. We had a bloke come to us probably about 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, and he was a gentleman that got a retrenchment from Australia Post. And he actually come to us and said that I want to bottle water. And my father and my uncle sort of looked at him and sort of said, mate,
are you off your head?
As everyone sort of thinks. And, he sort of walked out and their dad scratched their heads and just said, oh, what have we got here? Anyway, we had to go at it for him, and we're doing a few little pallets, but yeah, he went by the wayside. Well, about 3 years after that, the water just started to go crazy, that's where he was just a little bit before his time. And water started to become very big. So we started to have a crack at it as well, but it was just too competitive. So getting towards the answer of your question is there's a lot of people now that can set up water plants with equipment overseas that they can blow their own bottles, get their own water in off their own spring, and they just pack volume. It's all it's about. Small margin, big volume.
Massive volume.
We sort of thought, well, we'll stay out of that as well. But the hard part for us is suppliers. Because we were small quantities, we gathered, we started a co-op called the Australian Beverage Enterprise Cooperative Society, so that we could bulk buy with other companies like us from all around Australia, so it would give us some buying power in glass, sugar, caps, cartons, bottles. So that's one thing that keeps us to have the ability to still be in the industry and in the market.
Keeps you competitive, mate.
Yeah, but when I first started here 30-odd years ago, we could ring an essence company up and say, listen, I only need 5 litres of a certain flavour. Now you might have a 60-litre quantity minimum order.
Yeah.
So then you've got to go and chase. You've got to get another flavour that's very similar, or you've got to delete the product. So supply for us smaller people to be able to get to buy smaller quantities is very, very difficult.
How many flavours have you got now, Daz, compared to what you used to have?
I would say that we would have been up around the 40. We're down around about the 20 now. Go in size bottles from 300 ml to the 330 ml to 600 ml to 1.25 litre.
You still carry that range now?
Yes, but we don't carry every flavour and every range because the demand is just not in some of them. And like passion fruit is a very dear, nice drink, but it's a very expensive drink to make. So we only make it into. I would say that the thing that we've got our biggest challenge is supplies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just being able to get it, and a lot more suppliers unfortunately have moved offshore. So whereas we could call on products that were here ready to go in warehouses around Sydney, our forecasts now have to be quite critical because they're bringing everything in from overseas, and the quality is just not the same as what the Australian quality was. We could drop a bottle 20 years ago and it bounced back up to you. Now you drop a bottle and it just breaks into a million pieces. So what has kept us going over the 52 years is that we've always put a good product out. We have to put a good product out because first impressions is everything to a lot of people. And if they have that first taste in that mouth and it tastes good, they'll want some more. If the package doesn't look good and the product doesn't taste, feel, work for them, they won't come back. So a few things that we've got that has kept us going is a good product, customer relationships. We've got to have good customer relationships, and we always have. We've always spoken to our customers, even if we haven't heard from them for a few weeks. We just ring them up, how's everything going? Do you need something coming up soon? Or just make them feel a part of the family. Wanted, it's not about upselling or anything like that. It's just, we appreciate their business. They appreciate what they get off us. And a couple of the other things that every business, I feel, should have is, you've got to be ethical. You've got to be very ethical in what you do. You've got to be honest. You've got to have the right attitude and no shortcuts. Yeah. Shortcuts only start bringing in problems and
issues.
If you want to take a shortcut the first week in 6 months, you don't realise how many shortcuts you're taking, and it's just cruel yourself.
It's those little 1%ers that all add up, and all of a sudden it's 90%, and then 12 months time it's 75%. They're all adding up.
That's right, and you being in the front line every day mightn't see that, but people that might only be coming into your factory or getting an order off you every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, they notice the difference.
With those sort of ethics and that type of thing handed down from your father and your uncle, and they were of the same beliefs?
We're very old school here, probably too old school sometimes. In
stone and chisel, mate?
Yeah, we still like to pick up a pen and paper sometimes and sit down and scratch out, and and instead of doing things back. My father and my uncle Arthur, had very, very strong work ethics. They were back in the old school where we have to do the day's work and we don't go home until the day's work's done, and they could have been back here at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it took to do to get those drinks out the next day. They work come first. So those traits were certainly handed down to me. Matthew and we still live by them now. The harder you work, the more success you get, and the easier things become if you do it the right way. And you've got to transfer that over into the people that you employ, and then everyone can be on the same page. I wouldn't ask someone to go and clean a drain out in our factory if I wouldn't clean it out myself. You've got to be able to show that you might be the manager or you might be the leader, but you've got to also show that you're prepared to get in and do a bit of the hard work. So if my father still says, paint that wall blue, and I think it should be green, I'll paint the wall blue. We just follow what they say. They're very, very, I'm not saying that I give in to him. I'm just saying we're very old school. And
hey guys, sorry to interrupt the podcast. We have a word from our sponsor. KRGS Doors Series 3 aluminium roller shutter is the ideal solution for large retail openings. Spanning up to 12 metres wide by 4.5 metres high, the Series 3 shutter is perfect for the major retailers such as Coles, Woolworths and Aldi. The 100mm heavy-duty interlock slat can be solid, perforated or slotted to provide ventilation or vision if required. For more information, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au or call 1800 897 822. Now back to the podcast.
In this day and age, you especially lately, you see some of the breweries and that type of thing are now making hand sanitizer because they have to go down that. Have you looked at diversifying the business? I know you mentioned water beforehand. Is there anything else that you've looked to go into that you can manufacture there?
Actually, in this crisis that we're in at the moment with the coronavirus, we've had probably 4 or 5 people approach us about hand sanitizer. Our filler is a 50-year-old filler. When I say it's a 50-year-old filler, that filler will still be going if it's 150 years old. It was a good, strong, old-style built machine. Whereas machines these days, they might only go a 10-year lifespan and they've got to throw them out and they've got to get another one. Our machine is sort of basically set up for soft drink machine. It does have capabilities to put other products in, although we could probably jump in and make some good, quick money on it. We might lose some of our other customers that we've got to do an order for or whatever, and they're the ones that have kept us going for all those years.
That's loyalty.
they're our loyalty. Everyone probably thinks, well, if there's a buck there to be made, you've got to take it. But sometimes down the long run, it might not be worth taking that quick buck. Some other ones on the way. And just with that, we had Coles come in a few years ago and asked us to bottle their 1.25 litre range. And they wanted drive-through pallet racking, they wanted 24-hour access, they wanted a senior foreman, they wanted a foreman, they wanted a plant manager, and all these requirements, and it was only for a 12-month contract. You know,
Wasn't worth it, mate.
we would have had to park everyone else aside, and after the 12-month contract, we would have come back to no work. So we have looked at diversifying into a few things, orange juice and things like that, but our sole focus is soft drinks. We get enough opportunity of people coming in that want us to make a traditional soft drink and like that. So no, we're not chasing the market in the big kombucha drinks and non-preservative drinks and sports drinks and things like that. It's a tough market.
Well, when you said about losing other customers, when you come out of the crisis, you want them customers to still be there. So it certainly makes sense that look after them during this period of time and it'll continue on after that.
That's exactly right. You know, as I said, you could probably pick up a quick dollar. We're prepared to just sit and just cruise along as we are at the moment.
On your customers, how would you describe them?
I would describe our customers, some of them like salt of the earth. They're just typical people that just want to get out and have a go at business. They don't want to be the leader in the market, but they've got this focus in their head that they want to give something a go, and they come in and they have the opportunity. Some make a go of it and some don't. There's plenty of people that come in and say, I'm going to go and fill all Western Sydney full of soft drinks, and you never hear from them again. You do get are the ones that understand business and understand common sense and talk realistic numbers. It's probably similar to someone coming into you and saying, listen, I'm going to go out west and I'm going to build a big shopping centre and I'm going to need 50 roller doors by 4 months' time. And you just thought, this isn't going to happen. Whereas other people come in and go, listen, I'm going to do a little industrial estate out there of 3 factories. Might be able to bump it up to 6 or 7 in 3, 4, 5 years' time. And you sort of think, well, hang on a sec, this bloke might be something.
This guy's realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic. So I think our customers have got confidence in us. We don't let people down. We have supply, we have stock. We get our essences in, we get all the materials in that we need early so that we're not going to let anyone down. But what we do is we give an opportunity to people that want to just, we have a guy called the Thai guy, and he's just got a ginger beer, and he just goes around to a lot of Thai restaurants all in the inner suburbs of Sydney and just sells them 1 or 2 cases here or there. We probably produce 2 pallets for him every 2 months. That's his little hobby that he wants to do. He owns a little soft drink. He sees it in a restaurant when he goes in there, and that's what makes him happy.
They're his clients.
Yeah, that's the little opportunities that we're getting. So I would say that our customers are salt of the earth, traditional people that just they just want to have a little crack at things and just make a bit of money and just enjoy life.
And when you said about you're reliable and you've built that trust, obviously that comes with 52 years of experience, proving yourself over and over again that, hey, we are reliable, you can count on us.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite incredible. A lot of people that want to start up go to the Australian Beverage Council, recommendations for them, for people to come and speak to us, because we have got a good, without trying to sound too cocky, we have got a good name in the soft drink industry.
Yeah.
And people know that they're going to come here and we're going to be realistic. We're going to tell them yes or no. We're going to give them a fair price and we're going to give them the opportunity to have a good quality product out in the market.
Away from work days, how do you relax?
Well, like you guys, I'm a very sports-orientated person. I love my sport. I've got a few favourites, obviously involved in touch football like you guys. It brings a lot of enjoyment to us, that sport. But I follow the rugby league, I follow union, I follow the AFL, whatever. Whatever gets a heart rate up and someone competes against each other, I'll follow. I love me sport. I also like golf. I don't mind getting out and having a bit of a hit at golf, and it's just it's a peaceful thing. You get your own time to be with some mates, and you get some of your own time to walk around and just relax basically. And of course, just sitting around with your mates having a beer or on a Saturday or catching up with friends. It's a pretty simple life. I don't need everything. Pretty simple life, and just enjoy it.
Last time you were on the golf course, Daz, with Drewy, you teamed up with Drewy and you burgled the bloody golf day.
We won the Sofia Golf Day. I think that might have been my third time straight that we'd won it 3 in a row.
I had a stacked side. I had Tiger Woods, Greg Norman, Adam Scott, and got beaten.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, but what you've got to understand there, Clayton, is that the course didn't suit your long hitters. The course wasn't long enough for your big blokes.
That's fair enough. That's very true.
Between clubs, whereas us knockabout blokes, we just stand up over the ball, knock it on. Wow, 6 foot from the pin. One of us went up, stepped in, putted in, and the birdies just kept rolling in.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe that day.
We could. We actually loved it.
I know you did.
Actually, I was watching NRL the other night, and Phil Sigsworth was on there.
Oh, the great What's a Packeter.
Yeah, they interviewing him from up Port Macquarie.
Yeah.
Yes, he was in that team. Another victory.
Yeah.
He's a good man, Siggy.
We didn't hard as far as I'm concerned. We weren't a team of champions, but everyone had a job. Someone had to get off the tee, someone had to get on the crane, someone had to putt, and someone had to put the score down.
Was Siggy on the green that day? Like, would he have sort of 6 shots? If he missed the first one, he missed the first 5. He had the sixth one. Is that was that his capabilities on the green?
No, it was all. I think it was 4-ball Ambrose.
Take your shoes off to count. No.
As you said, a champion team always beats a team of champions.
Fair enough.
Daz, just on that, you mentioned your love of touch football. For those that don't know, you're a Hall of Famer in the touch football, and you're also named in, I believe it was the team of the half century to ever play the game. How did you get involved in touch football?
As I said, I'm the only boy in my family. I'm the eldest of 4 kids. I've got myself and my 3 sisters. And my father was always an athletic person. He played football for Uncliff Scots and always been active. And he got into touch football, and probably like any kid does with his dad, I tagged his shirt and said, "Dad, can I come to touch with you?" And just started coming, and then got to training, and then some of the blokes said, "Jump on the wing and have a run around," and just having a ball in your hand, kicking it, throwing it, passing it. I'll run around and get the witches' hats. I'll set the field up, and and then you just get another opportunity, and so it was probably all the Friday nights that I used to go with Dad up to Waratah Oval. There'd be a bunch of blokes go up there, and I probably started around about the age of 9 or 10, and then just love the game. I love the speed in it, the competitiveness. Got to be sharp, thinking. I love being involved in a team atmosphere. I love depending on other people, and I like them depending on me. I just brings a great atmosphere to be in a team, and I just really enjoyed the game and trained hard and got to love it a bit more, and it just rolled on. So I would never have been able to play or do athletics or swimming or something by myself. I love being involved in teams.
You would have obviously seen a lot of changes in the sport in touch, Daz, like me, from when you first started to the product that we have now.
Yeah, well, when we used to go up on a Friday night or a Sunday morning with Dad, the old rules was, you could kick it on the 5th touch, or you'd have a marker. Yeah, the marker used to chase all the time and cut everything off. So the game has definitely evolved from that. Then they dropped it from 8-a-side down to 7-a-side.
Yeah.
And that changed the game again. That started to bring a bit more speed into the game, a bit more creativity, a bit more room for everyone. And then eventually we've ended up with 6-a-side.
6-a-side.
So it's a very exciting game. It's a great game that everyone can participate in. That's what I like about it. You've got, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, if you're old, young, if you're slow or fast. It gives everyone an opportunity to get out on the field and have some fun, have involvement with your family or your friends, and a bit of fitness on the side, and I don't think fitness hurts anyone.
It's a game for all ages.
You mentioned that you got to play with your dad. Have you been lucky enough to play with your children as well in game of touch?
Yeah, we had a father and son side with a few of the blokes that I used to play with, or around the same age. So we had a father and son team there playing at Tarrant Point for these few years. I've always wanted to have a mixed side and have a daughter and son and all that, but we've never had the opportunity the opportunity's never come up to play the four of us together. But I have coached my son with Clayton, and also I've been able to have the chance through Clayton to help coach Bronte in a couple of rep teams that we've been involved in together. So that's it's been a great opportunity to have the whole family involved. And a lot of the teams that I've coached, my wife Melissa has jumped in and helped out to be the manager. She loves to be involved and likes to be around the same kind of atmosphere as well. So
One of those teams, Daz, I got a memory come up on Facebook today. One of those teams that we coached for Rebels under 18s girls when we went to Parks. It's actually, I think it's 4 years ago today.
You want to talk about the next morning?
It was the next morning, mate. Yeah, it was the next morning.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the next morning after you got some idea of how many bottles of vodka we could drink?
That was a big night. What was that? Vodka raspberries.
Yeah. That was that was a good night. The good thing about, and I'm not saying that touch football is better than any other sport, but the good thing about being in sport and being involved and going away is the friendship that you create. And I truly believe that sport is very similar to your business. You know, if you don't have cooperation and teamwork and everyone get on in your sport team, you're not going to have any success. And it transfers over the same as your business. Everyone's different, and you've got to understand that not everyone in your sport team or your business is going to act the way that you want to, or work the way you want to, or have the attitude that you want. But you've got to work the best you can with every one of those individuals to get a team environment. And once you get that team environment in a harmonious situation, a lot of things flow on from there.
Absolutely, mate.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Correct.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, plenty of good times there, and hopefully there's plenty more to come.
You betcha.
Sounds good. Now, to wrap up the podcast, mate, we ask our Fast 5 questions, which is just a rapid fire, just to get to know you a little bit better. And the first one is, what would be your last meal?
Well, my last meal would probably be, I'd go down to my mum and dad's. And usually when we get to go down there, there's a smorgasbord like old Sizzlers. So there's a bit of steak and a bit of chicken and salad and veggies and a roast beef and whatever you basically want. Whatever mum can fit in the trolley from a shopping centre. She's a very good cook. My mum's side's been, all her sisters are very good cooks. So I'd have to say probably one of mum's last dinners would top the night off, and probably into a chocolate milkshake with a nice donut to finish the dessert.
Nice.
You have got a sweet tooth.
What's your drink of choice? Being in the soft drink industry, this could be a tough one.
Yeah, no, that'd be a Berts Coca-Cola or a chocolate milkshake.
Yes. I've had Berts Coca-Cola. I've had a range of Berts flavours, and they are delicious.
Mandarine's still the best.
Yes, you love a mandarin.
I do love a mandarin. Just in the fridge here opposite us, there's mandarins sitting up in the shelves.
Yeah, no, that's one of those flavours that we were talking about earlier. That's a little bit it's an acquired taste for some people, but it's not. It's not in our top range. But the people that love it, love it.
Oh, it's like mother's milk, Daz. Like mother's milk.
Clayton actually said it's like angels pissing on your tonsils.
Exactly right.
I have heard that being described before, and I was told that I could use the same comment.
What's your favourite movie quote?
I've got two, but there's another one that you might want to edit this out. I'm not quite sure, but there was a sports show on in 2016, and the commentator said the siren has sounded. Cronulla won it. Cronulla won at 14-12. You can turn the light out now. One of the most famous pieces of commentary in the last decade.
What, that took 46 years, I think that was, wasn't it, Daz?
50 years. It happened on my 50th birthday. The same year the Sharks come into the comp on 67, and we won in 16, 50 years, and I turned 50 that same year. So,
what a birthday present, eh?
On a more serious note, I'd probably say Rambo, they drew first blood. If someone's going to have a go at you, I think you need to stand up, and they drew first blood, so he went out and finished it off. And I've got a very, very soft spot for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I actually watched it last Saturday night.
Yeah, I was going to say it was on telly the other night.
Yeah, and I've always, as a kid, I've always remembered the line, nobody goes in and nobody ever comes out. So when they talk about the factory, I think why I like the Willy Wonka one is because I do refer the Willy Wonka factory in a little way to our soft drink factory. It's just something that I've always thought, it's a similar sort of thing. You go in and he's trying to make things in colours and lollies and all that, and I've just always related it back to very similar to the soft drink factory.
You could hide the golden ticket in one of your drinks.
Yes, certainly could. Certainly could. Might be a good idea. Good marketing point.
Good
Sounds
marketing point. You can come to any of our podcasts, mate, for a marketing point.
What is one thing you would put on your bucket list?
I'd say the Masters. I'd love to go to Augusta and see the Masters play, or probably the Monaco Grand Prix. I wouldn't mind going there and seeing the Grand Prix there. I'd just like to soak up the atmosphere of it. I think it's not about all the money and all that, but it's just the hype that would be going around that place. I think would be incredible.
The way you play golf too, you could probably get a start at the Masters too, mate, just quietly.
Mate, I wouldn't even break 100 on the par 3 course.
Excellent.
That's why I had 3 good players with me out on the golf day.
Yeah, 3 good scorers.
And finally, if heaven does exist, what would God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You're welcome. We only let people in from God's country.
Sounds good.
Short and sweet.
Yes, sounds good.
Out in the Sutherland Shire.
Daz, mate, we'll wrap that up today, but thanks very much for coming on and telling us not only the Darren Shelley story, but the Berts Soft Drinks story. It's very interesting, particularly small businesses that have been in for 5 generations. You don't see that too much nowadays, but you must be doing something right. And for anyone that's not only in the Shire, but anyone that wants to go around, and I can guarantee you they do offer fantastic service and a fantastic product. So do yourself a favour and get down to Berts Soft Drinks there at Tarrant Point and sample some of their great flavours.
Thank you very much. No, it's been a pleasure to sit here and have a chat. Look, business isn't all about business. Sometimes it's about, as I said, creating relationships and confidence in people and knowing that people can depend on you and you just got to treat people how you want to be treated. And if we know that we're always going to be supplying people that, we'll know that they're going to come back and keep getting orders off us. And just the simple things are probably the easiest things sometimes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Now, I've always sort of gone down the belief of you don't have to be the best at everything you do, but you have to try and be your best at everything that you do. If I can't swim 50 metres in a certain time, I've just got to try and swim that 50 metres in the best time I can.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, you just can't do it. But you just got to do it the best you can every time.
Thank you again for joining us. We do appreciate your time, mate. And hopefully in 52 years' time, when Berts are celebrating or 48 years when they're celebrating their 100th birthday, we'll have another chat.
Yeah, well, hopefully the coronavirus has gone by then. We might have drowned that with some soft drink, and then we can go back to, I'm not saying it's bad at the moment, but we can get back to how a bit of normality for everyone.
Yeah, good work.
Sounds good, mate. Thank you again, Daz. Cheers.
Take care, Daz. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, boys. Good on you.
That wraps up our chat with Darren Shelley from Berts Soft Drinks. For more information on Berts, visit www.berts.com.au or head to 47 Atkinson Avenue, Tarrant Point, New South Wales to try their delicious flavours and tell them KRGS Doors sent you. If you have missed any previous episodes of the KRGS Doors podcast, you can download them from our website www.krgsdoors.com.au/podcasts or on your favourite podcast player, search KRGS Doors. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any future episodes. This also boosts our ranking and my ego. The other thing I suggest, if you have enjoyed the podcast, head to your favourite podcast player and leave a review or a rating. On our next episode, we speak to Racy McGregor, Women's Rugby League player for the Brisbane Broncos and New Zealand International. Having represented Australia in soccer and at the Youth Olympics and Commonwealth Games for Rugby Union and winning gold, Racy has achieved a hell of a lot at her tender age of 23 years. I've been your host, Drew Blackman, and you've been fantastic for tuning in today. As always, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thanks. Till next time. The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au.